The 4th of September, 2019. At Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, an aircraft that had shaped one of the most important chapters in American commercial aviation prepared for its final journey. American Airlines Flight 80 departed for Chicago O'Hare, marking the end of more than 3 decades of service for the McDonnell Douglas MD-80. On paper, it was simply the retirement of an aging aircraft. Its engines were no longer quiet enough for a new generation. Its fuel consumption belonged to another era. Newer jets could fly the same routes with lower costs and greater efficiency. But something unexpected happened. The people who understood the aircraft better than anyone, the pilots who spent thousands of hours inside its cockpit, were not talking about numbers. They talked about the way it felt, the response of the controls, the sound of the engines, the feeling that the aircraft was not just transporting them, but communicating with them. The MD-80 first entered commercial service with Swissair on the 10th of October 1980, after making its first flight 1 year earlier on the 18th of October 1979. Developed from the legendary Douglas DC-9 family, it was never designed to completely transform aviation. It was built to perfect what already worked. Over its production life, 1,191 aircraft were delivered before manufacturing ended in 1999. Yet today, many passengers remember the aircraft that replaced it more than the machine that quietly carried millions of people for decades. Because the story of the MD-80 is not about the most advanced jet of its generation. It is about one of the last airliners that still made pilots feel like they were truly flying. The story of the MD-80 began long before its first flight. It started with a problem that was slowly reshaping the airline industry. During the 1960s and 1970s, the Douglas DC-9 had become one of the most successful short-haul aircraft in the world. It was simple, reliable, and perfectly suited for connecting smaller cities with major airline hubs. Its rear-mounted engines, tail configuration, and narrow 5-abreast cabin gave airlines exactly what they needed at the time: fast turnaround times and dependable performance on shorter routes. But aviation was changing. Airlines were no longer just looking for aircraft that could fly reliably. They needed aircraft that could carry more passengers, travel farther, and generate more revenue on every flight. The pressure became even greater after the United States airline deregulation in 1978. Suddenly, airlines had more freedom to create new routes and compete aggressively. Expansion became the priority, and carriers needed aircraft that could grow with them. American Airlines, led by Robert Crandall, was one of the companies searching for that solution. The airline wanted to expand its domestic network from Dallas, Fort Worth, but it needed the right aircraft, something larger than older short-haul jets, but not as expensive to operate as bigger aircraft. For McDonnell Douglas, this was both an opportunity and a challenge. The company could not afford to abandon the successful DC-9 foundation, but it also knew that simply stretching an old aircraft would not be enough. The answer was the DC-9 Series 80, later known as the MD-80. Launched in October 1977, the aircraft was designed as a carefully calculated evolution rather than a completely new machine. The fuselage was extended, the wings were redesigned, and new Pratt & Whitney JT-8D 200 series engines were selected to provide more power and better efficiency. But the early years were difficult. Between 1977 and 1982, McDonnell Douglas struggled to secure major orders. Airlines questioned whether an aircraft based on a 1960s design could survive against newer competitors. Then came the deal that changed everything. American Airlines initially agreed to take 20 MD-80 aircraft under a low-risk arrangement. The aircraft performed better than expected, proving it could deliver the economics airlines needed. In 1984, American placed a massive follow-up order for 67 more aircraft, with options for 100 additional jets. What began as a desperate attempt to keep a program alive became one of the most important commercial aircraft partnerships of the 1980s. The MD-80 had found its moment. From the outside, the MD-80 looked like a longer version of the aircraft that came before it, but the real transformation was hidden inside the engineering. McDonnell Douglas did not try to erase the personality of the original DC-9. Instead, engineers focused on taking a proven design and pushing every part of it further. The fuselage was stretched approximately 14 feet longer than the DC-950, allowing the aircraft to carry between 130 and 172 passengers depending on airline configuration. The wing was also significantly changed, with around 28% more wing area compared with earlier DC-9 models. The MD-80 gained the lift needed to handle its increased size and weight while maintaining the short and medium-range performance airlines required. But the biggest change was behind the aircraft. The MD-80 used two Pratt & Whitney JT8D-200 series turbofan engines mounted at the rear of the fuselage. These engines produced between 18,500 and 21,000 pounds of thrust, giving the aircraft the power needed for a heavier, more capable version of the DC-9. They were more efficient than the older JT8D engines, but they also created one of the aircraft's most recognizable characteristics, the sound. With a lower bypass ratio compared with modern high-bypass turbofans, more air passed through the hot core of the engine. This created a louder, sharper exhaust note that became instantly associated with the MD-80. For passengers sitting near the back, it was impossible to ignore. For many pilots, it became part of the aircraft's identity. Inside the cockpit, the MD-80 represented a transition between two different eras of aviation. It was not a purely old-fashioned aircraft. It had digital flight guidance computers, an auto-throttle system, flight director technology, and even automatic landing capability. Later versions, like the MD-88, introduced electronic flight instrument displays, bringing the cockpit closer to the digital generation. But there was one thing McDonnell Douglas preserved: the connection between pilot and aircraft. Unlike later fly-by-wire designs where computers interpret and adjust pilot commands, the MD-80 kept a more direct relationship between control input and aircraft response. When pilots moved the controls, they felt the aircraft react. This made the MD-80 demanding. During approach and landing, it required careful speed control, precise handling, and constant attention. A mistake was noticeable immediately. But when flown correctly, the aircraft rewarded the pilot with a level of feedback that many modern airliners gradually removed. That combination of power, sound, and personality created its famous nickname, the Mad Dog. Because the MD-80 was not just a machine that carried passengers, it was an aircraft that demanded to be flown. By the way, if you're into stories like this, subscribing takes 2 seconds, and there's a lot more coming. The true test of the MD-80 did not happen inside an engineering facility. It happened every morning on airport runways around the world. An aircraft can have impressive specifications on paper, but airlines judge success differently. They measure reliability, operating costs, passenger capacity, and whether an aircraft can generate profit day after day. For the MD-80, the answer came through millions of ordinary flights. After American Airlines took its first aircraft, the MD-80 quickly became one of the foundations of the company's domestic expansion. The aircraft that had once been considered a risk became one of the most important tools in Americans' growing network. At its peak, American Airlines operated around 360 MD-80 aircraft, making it the largest operator of the type in the world. After acquiring Trans World Airlines in 2001, that number increased to 362 aircraft, representing more than 30% of all MD-80s ever produced. The reason was simple. The aircraft worked. Its combination of range, passenger capacity, and dependable performance allowed airlines to operate thousands of short and medium-haul routes efficiently. The MD-80 family continued to evolve to match different airline needs. The original MD-81 was followed by the MD-82, which offered increased thrust for more demanding airport conditions. The MD-83 extended the aircraft's range. The shorter MD-87 served operators that needed fewer seats, and the MD-88 introduced a more modern electronic cockpit. Together, these versions allowed the aircraft family to cover routes approaching nearly 3,000 nautical miles. But the MD-80's reputation was not built only on numbers. It was built by the people who flew it. Many pilots described the aircraft as something rare, a jet with personality. It did not hide mistakes. If a pilot approached too fast, carried too much energy, or became careless during landing, the aircraft made it obvious. But pilots who mastered it often developed a strong connection with the machine. The long fuselage gave it another nickname among American Airlines crews, the Super Snake. The louder engines and powerful acceleration helped strengthen the more famous name, the Mad Dog. Passengers experienced a different side of the aircraft. Those sitting near the front often remembered a surprisingly quiet cabin because the engines were far behind them. Those sitting near the rear experienced the opposite, the unmistakable sound of two JT-8D engines pushing the aircraft into the sky. It was not perfect, but it was memorable. For more than 3 decades, the MD-80 became a familiar presence at airports across the United States and beyond. By the time American Airlines operated its final MD-80 flight in 2019, the aircraft had carried more than 87 million passengers for that airline alone. A temporary solution had become a 3-5-year relationship, and the aircraft that many believed was simply an updated DC-9 had created its own legacy. The aircraft that saved McDonnell Douglas during one generation eventually became a victim of the next one. The MD-80 was created during a transition period in aviation. It belonged to a world where aircraft were becoming more capable and more advanced, but where mechanical connection and pilot control still remained at the center of the flying experience. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, that world was changing. Airlines were no longer focused only on reliability and performance. Fuel efficiency became one of the most important factors in commercial aviation. New generations of aircraft arrived with quieter engines, improved aerodynamics, lighter materials, and lower operating costs. Compared with newer twin-engine jets, the MD-80's strengths slowly became disadvantages. Its JT-8D engines, once an important improvement over earlier designs, could no longer compete with modern high-bypass turbofans. They consumed more fuel, they created more noise, and as the aircraft aged, maintenance became increasingly expensive. After Boeing acquired McDonnell Douglas in 1997, the future of the MD-80 family became limited. The final MD-80 was delivered to Transworld Airlines in December 1999, closing a production run that had produced 1,191 aircraft. But the aircraft did not disappear immediately. It continued flying for decades. American Airlines kept the type in service until the 4th of September 2019, while Delta Airlines operated the final major U.S. passenger flights with the MD-88 inches 2020. Its retirement was logical, but the reaction from pilots showed that something deeper was being lost. The MD-80 was never the quietest aircraft. It was never the most fuel efficient, and it was never the most technologically advanced. But those were not the reasons people remembered it. They remembered an aircraft from a period when flying still felt mechanical, physical, and direct. A machine where skill mattered. A machine where pilots could feel every correction and every movement. The aircraft that replaced it were more efficient, more comfortable, and better suited for the future of aviation. But many of them could not replace its character. Today, only a small number of MD-80 family aircraft remain active in cargo operations and specialized roles. For most passengers, the Mad Dog era has ended. But among the pilots who flew it, the MD-80 represents something that became increasingly rare, an airliner that was not just controlled, it was understood. It was not the aircraft that changed aviation forever. It was one of the last aircraft that reminded people what flying used to feel like. If this story was worth your time, hit like and subscribe, and drop what you think in the comments.